So between 80 to 90% of all heart attacks happen on Monday mornings between 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning. I want you to listen very carefully. Between 80 to 90% of all heart attacks happen between 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Monday morning. And why is the case? I'm no expert here, guys, but I believe because many people go to jobs they hate, and at that time of the day, they wake up grudging, they wake up feeling very, very frustrated, and their heart tells them, not again this time. Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. If you're new to the channel, why don't you just go ahead and click the like for me? Give me a thumbs up and welcome to this live stream, all right? We are getting into Monday. Actually, happy Monday Eve. Hang on a second. Let me raise my table. I'm 6'4", 270 pounds. So sometimes I need the table very high so I can actually be able to not have to stretch, right? So here's the deal. Happy Monday Eve. Happy Monday Eve. And I hope this doesn't create anxiety to you because there are two kinds of people. There are those who look at Sunday night and look at the time, it's 9 p.m., and they go, God, thank you. It's going to be Monday tomorrow. I have a chance to start a new life, to start building something significant, and to certainly start also going forward. And then there are some other people who think, hang on, guys. Mommy, yes, I'm on a live show. Oh, oh, okay, okay. Okay. I'll call you back. I'll call you. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry, that was my wife calling. I know this is streaming live, but that's okay. That was my wife just calling to tell me that she was going somewhere with her friends. So, anyways, listen here. There are two kinds of people, right? There are those who on Monday Eve, which is Sunday night, they are worried. They are feeling anxious. They are angry. They are getting all these palpitations because they'll be waking up on Monday to go to a job they hate. And there are those who on Monday Eve, which is Sunday night, they are like, thank you, Lord. It's going to be Monday tomorrow. I have a new chance to start a new week, to start continue to implementing, becoming better, making money, working on my job or on my business, whatever the case might be for you. So whichever side of the aisle you are, in this video, I want to talk to you why you can be on the side of the aisle where most of the people who are at peace on Sunday nights, most of the people who don't complain about Mondays, who don't complain about the length of the week are. And I want to guarantee you that these are not just people who are entrepreneurs only, but these are also people who are regular job workers. Remember, in this life, for most people, 80% of people will have to work for somebody. So if you're an employee, don't feel bad. It's not about employee entrepreneurship here. No. I just want to talk to you about the number one way to build wealth, especially in America, which is the stock market. And I want to give you some context as to the myriad of emotions that has been flooding around the last few weeks and the last month, actually. So there is no question, if you've been paying attention to the stock market, even if you have not been paying attention to the market, but if you've even checked on your maybe your 401k, your brokerage account, you know exactly what I mean, right? You certainly saw a big, big, big jump in your account, and you're certainly asking yourself, what just happened? So this actually today is a critical warning to every investor watching me right now. I want you to understand over the last 1 month, the market has been dipping. If you've been watching the news, there is no question, right? Palantir is down 25% from its peak of 207 in November 3rd. This is Sunday, but I'm just talking about the closing on Friday, right? Tesla is down 10% in the last 3 weeks from about $442 of high to $340. Nvidia, even though they had a wonderful outing on, I think they reported on Wednesday or so, Wednesday or Thursday, they had a wonderful quarterly report. They blew all their different projections and more. They sustained the market for a few hours. The market still dropped. They couldn't keep the market up alive. I think they had a report on Friday, not Thursday, sorry. And even though they were up 3% after strong earnings, but a lot of other companies couldn't survive, right? They were just struggling to stay green. The S&P 500 is down from 6,800 to 6,500. That's a 5% 5% drop. Guys, that is huge when it comes to investing, especially on the stock market. A 5% drop by the S&P 500 is huge, right? The NASDAQ is down 4% over the last 30 days. Let's see who else. So the important thing to realize, don't panic. That's why I'm doing this live stream today, right before Monday, because the market will be open again tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern time, which is 8:30 Central time, all the way till 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. I want you to not panic. I want you to just listen through this video. For those who are not on the line with you listening, send this clip to them, send them this link, please. Let them join the video because this is going to be a very beneficial video. This is actually going to be a video that can drastically help you, especially in this coming week. Because I see a lot of people panicking, a lot of people in my networks, in my communities, in my private communities, my clients, they have been texting me, calling Mr. Achu, what is going on? It's been 30 days. The market is down. What is happening? We want to know, should we be selling our positions? Guys, listen and listen very carefully to me. Drops are normal. This is the nature of the game in investing on the stock market. On this platform, I teach people how to uncover their purpose. I teach them how to leverage their purpose and become productive economically, to generate money, use that money to build wealth by investing in assets like stocks, ETF, bonds, and real estate. And when they do all of that, they live a life and bequeath a lasting legacy. A life of meaning, a life of purpose, and a life which will keep your name existent for the rest of time. So part of the purpose, part of the process of getting there is to understand how the stock market, which you invest a lot of your money on, functions. You need to understand that drops are normal, guys. It is not unusual. It is part of the process. Typically, 2 to 3 times a year, there is a 5% drop. That is typical. Once every year, there will be about a 10% drop in the market. That is typical. Every few years, there will be a 15% drop in the market. And then every couple of years, I think every 6 years or so, there can be a complete bear market. But I want you to understand this. The market always recovers from this. Even from crashes, the market will always recover. It will end up going up. It will end up going higher. It will end up presenting opportunities for you and more gains for you. So I want to give you some perspective and I want you to settle down. I want you to not panic. Just listen up here what I'm going to be talking to you about in this live stream. I want to reassure you, I don't have no magic ball. I don't have no crystal ball. I am not an expert. I am just a guy who is sharing his experiences on YouTube based on 10 years of investing on the market, having filed for bankruptcy, made stupid mistakes like foreclosing on 2 homes, gone through all kinds of financial ruin, but I was able to pick myself up, rebuild myself to a net worth of, to a liquid worth of getting close to $1 million today on the market. That is something I believe. So when I talk, I don't talk about stuff I read. I'm talking about experiences. So you have to do your own research, right? Don't take this as gospel. Don't take this as some kind of financial advice because this is no financial advice. But I just want you to understand that drops in the market are normal. You must understand something. Wealth doesn't disappear. Money doesn't disappear. It lives and transfers from the hands of those who are afraid to the patient and the long-term thinking hands. Warren Buffett is the one who actually talks a lot about that concept. And once I understood that concept too, I integrated it in my investment system. I realized, you know what? Whoa, I have been missing out a lot. I have been missing out a lot because a few years ago, I lost about $80,000. You know why? Because just like many of you watching now, when the market turned red, I started panicking. I started selling and things like that. The way you know people who don't understand how these things work, which hopefully is not going to be you because you are listening to me and you continue listening to me, most likely you will join my community, which the link is down in the description. and you will get to learn how this thing works. Once you learn that, you understand that anytime the market drops, whether it's the 3% drop or the 5% or 10, that's an opportunity for you to scale up a little bit, right? That's an opportunity for you to make sure that you load up on those companies that you have researched, you have deep conviction for, and you plan to hold for a long time. 5, 10, 15 years. Now, in this recent drop, what was the catalyst? The catalyst actually, Jerome Powell, who is the head of the Treasury, came out to say, hey guys, you listen, December cuts, it's not a foregone conclusion. What that really means in simplistic English is that the interest rate cuts, which people were projecting that it will happen in December, he was telling people, slow down your horses. I'm not sure it's going to happen anymore. So what that meant is people felt like money is not going to be as cheap as they would have loved because, of course, when the economy is a little rough, like it has been the last few months, when interest rates cuts happens, they're trying to encourage consumption. They're trying to encourage people to borrow money, companies to borrow money for research and development. By extension, companies can hire more people and the economy gets better, right? So people had already been pricing the fact in that there will be an interest rate cut. So when he announced that it's not a foregone conclusion for December, he just simply was saying, guys, don't count on that. It might not happen, right? So what that really did is that people got panicked and started selling. And what happens when people start selling? Because in the supply of the sales, the supply of the supply increases, so the prices naturally go down. And as more people panic because the prices went down, they start selling, it becomes a self-perpetuating prophecy, right? So because Jerome Powell said that the market didn't like it, the market reacted negatively, and so prices started falling. That's why you heard me talk about some of the falls that have happened for some of the top companies, right? Tesla by 10%, Palantir by about 5%, and all those different companies. So the market reaction, therefore, was a negative reaction of, you know what, guys, I am worried. I'm going to pull out my money from the market. Let me tell you something. That is an amateur move. That is an amateur move. Hear me and listen to me carefully. I hope you don't plan to do that this coming week. Don't sell nothing. Don't strike nothing. Don't let go of any of your positions. Because you know what the market does with situations like when the prices go down and when the market drops? That is when the weak hands, the amateurs, the people who don't understand how this thing works, they go to the slaughterhouse. Because think about it for a second. Let's say you bought a stock of Microsoft at $630, and because of the announcement of Jerome Powell, it comes down to 550, and you're struggling to sell at 550. You've lost $80 per share. But you know what? In the next few months, that same Microsoft share will be back at about 700, and then you'll be rushing to go buy it now at 700. So what happens is that you buy high, sell low, and repeat. And that's how you lose your money. That's how people get wiped out completely from the market, and then they complain that stock market investing is gambling. It is not gambling, guys. It is one of the surest ways to build long-term generational wealth in the history of this country. I can tell you that without mincing my words because I've seen it work for me and I've seen it work for over 100 different clients I've worked with and people in my community who have told them this simple, very straightforward secret of how to build wealth over time using companies, buying into companies that are solid and that are productive businesses. So you need to understand that, right? So the volatility in the market will happen. If the market is not volatile, it's not a good thing because it is in the cost of volatility that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer if you're uneducated. Volatility provides a complete distortion between the actual value of a company and the price of the company in the short term. And that's when you pick it up at a lower price. I want you to understand something here with me, guys. Understand something. Understand something here. Pay attention to what I'm going to tell you right now. The stock price of a stock is never a representation of the value of that company. I want you to understand what I'm saying. The stock price is the representation of the perception of what that company is valued in the short term, but it's not the value of that company. That is why once you analyze a company and you recognize that it is a company that has significant value, that has great products, it has a competitive advantage, and it will last for many years, you know what you do? You know that that company is projected to maybe be $1,000 of, it's valued at $1,000 a share. But in the short term, maybe because of Jerome Powell's announcement, maybe because of the way people feel at that time, maybe because of some kind of negative press for that company, the price is down to $600. What it means is that that company, even though it is truly valued, the true intrinsic value of that company is $1,000 a share, but because of short-term emotions, the price is 600. So what that means is for intelligent investors like you, if you've been following me, you know that there is a distortion between the value of that company and the price. So it creates an opportunity for you to buy that company at a discount, knowing that it is always going to rise back to the value of what it's supposed to be. Bam! Hey, if you're feeling me, I get emotional sometimes with this stuff because when I started understanding these things 10 years ago, it blew my mind. That's why I've been obsessed to teach people about how to build wealth, especially on the stock market, because it is tried, tested, and true. There is no complexity to it. There is no deep secret. Let nobody stand here and tell you, I'm going to sell you a course that is going to tell you about some secret of, no, there is no secret, guys. There isn't. The secret is simplicity, not complexity. The secret is just getting your mind to understand that you are getting into investing into companies, index funds, and ETFs that you like for the long term, not for the short term. The secret is that it's not gambling. The secret is that the stock market is not designed for people to make short-term profits. You can do that if you want to, but the most successful people on the US stock market are people who invest for the long term, are people who buy companies that are proven for a certain discounted price and hold it over the long term. In fact, hold it forever. And I'm going to do another video to talk about some of the forever companies that you need to invest in. Companies like Microsoft, companies like Nvidia. Those are companies that I invest in forever. And by any means, this is not a recommendation for you to buy, hold, or sell. It is just sharing my own ideas, the things I do. Right? So you need to understand this is an opportunity for you. When the market is red, it's for you to take it over. It's for you to make money. It's for you to move around, buy some of those companies at a discount, right? And why is this not the end of the bull market? Because a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe the bull market from 2022 is over. No, I don't think it is the end of the bull market. I'm not a magician. I have no crystal ball, but history tells me something. Because history is not identical, but it rhymes. Are we together? History is not usually identical, but it rhymes because it tells a story. If it happened before, it can happen again. There is no guarantee, but on the stock market, it usually happens again if it had happened before. And why do I say so? Because crashes happen during euphoria. So when everybody is thinking companies are only going up, they are making money, everyone is buying. People are pumping money into the market. Unreasonable companies that have not proven anything are being valued at a crazy amount and people are rushing into it. That is when crashes happen, right? Crashes happen because of euphoria, not because of fear. We are living in a time now where people are afraid instead, right? And now I want to give you a context about the bull market. Generally, the current bull market right now is just about 3 years because it started in 2022 and we've run it now, we are 2025. So the bull market, which is a time, bull markets are times when the market is going up, right? When companies are growing in value, people are making profits, the value of your investments are growing and things like that. That is a bull market. The average run for a bull market is 114% over 5 years. I want you to listen to me. And next time when you're coming to these live streams, take your pen and your paper. I like to teach. I like people to take notes because this is real life we are talking about, guys. We are not here for entertainment. We are not here on a Sunday evening to just bullshit. We are talking here about life. So take your pen and a paper, make some notes. If you want, you can make some notes on your cell phone. I want you to hear what I'm going to tell you right now. Average bull markets averagely run for 5 years. And in those 5 years, it averages about 114% growth in your investments, right? But the current bull market we have now has only run for 3 years, and the current growth has only been about 87%. So what history is telling me is that we still have another possibly 2 years of this bull market, and an additional 114 minus 87, that's about 20, that's about 114, 87, let's see, 20, 13 plus 4, that's 27% more in appreciation of investable assets like ETFs, index funds, or some of the sure solid companies you've invested in that will still have room to run. So the end of the bull market, I don't think it's inside yet. But again, what do I know? That's my opinion, right? I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy trying to make sense out of the market and trying to make some money, build a lasting legacy, and build some significant wealth for myself, my family, and posterity to help humanity, right? So I want you to understand this. AI is up in the last 750 days by 90%. Now, if we take a step back to the internet age in the early 2000s, remember the dot-com bubble, right? For that same amount of time, the internet was up about 140%. So think about it. A big part of what people believe is going to cause the next crash, is going to cause the next bear market, is going to cause the next devastation on the stock market, is the overinflation of valuations for AI companies. So if we go back and take history again, let's take ourselves back 25 years ago. In the late 90s to early to 2000s, when the dot-com crash happened, remember the advent of the internet became really very commercialized. All these dot-com companies, Netscape, all these companies came up and their values were skyrocketing just because people were euphoric. People thought they were the next best thing after sliced bread. At that time, over 750 days, the internet companies went up by 140%, but AI companies over the same 750 days have only gone up by 90%. So what that tells me too is that there is still some room for that to run before making this particular time have all the hallmarks of the fact that the bull market is coming to an end. Now, if you're still new, maybe you will not understand all the things I'm saying, and I don't want you to bother too much about that, all right? Let's take a step here. Let's take a step here. So these are the real risks you must not ignore, which is important, right? These are the real risks you must not ignore. Certainly, there is high valuations for a lot of S&P 500, not S&P, sorry. There's a high valuation for some companies that are unproven. That is why it will be important for you to understand that to really win on the market, investing in stocks over the long term, you have to be very selective about the companies you invest in because not all companies are worth investing in. Now, let me repeat myself again. To be extremely successful in investing in stocks on the stock market, you have to be selective about the companies you invest in. Not all companies are worth investing in for the long term. What I mean by that is, yes, the valuation of a lot of AI companies has been pushed to the roof. I know companies I took a swing on because I use a small percentage of my portfolio to take swings on companies I believe have potential, even though they haven't proven financially and product-wise that they are capable. I took a swing on some computing companies, right? Quantum computing companies. And I bought some of them at $3 a share. And some of those companies came up to about 30 something dollars a share in 6 months. They don't have no product yet on the market. They don't have no deep pockets to sustain themselves in case of a financial difficulty. They don't even have profitability because they're not selling nothing. But it's just out of euphoria and perception and projections, right? Now, those are not companies you can invest in for the long term because they are not proven. So, what that really means, these are some of the risks you must pay attention to. You must be careful. In fact, for people who are starting new, my recommendation very strongly is usually, and this is really applies to the people who are actually part of my program and who they come to me for coaching. I usually recommend that they start with index funds and ETFs because an index fund and ETF is a very minimally risky way of investing on the market. It's a less risky way of investing because you invest in a way that you buy a piece of a bucket of of a bucket of companies that has been packaged into something called an index fund or an ETF. And so you're not buying into individual companies. So in case some of those companies go down, you don't actually have to lose all your money because you are bought into many companies within a bucket of that, right? So it helps you to minimize your risk and to put you in a place where you don't really lose completely. So it is important, therefore, to understand one of the major risks you must pay attention to is the risk of those companies that are being valued too high right now because that are being priced too high, even though their value doesn't justify that kind of pricing. And I'll do some other videos. If you look in my channel, you see other videos where I talk about how to just use common sense to evaluate a company, right? Without going into all the deep mathematics and technicalities. So it is important to understand because these risks are the risks that are present and inherent in these companies and on the market. So you need to understand them. Now, here is the 40-year lesson that every investor must know. If you're a serious investor, you have to understand these 40-year lessons, guys. There are always reasons to sell, let me tell you. In the 40 years lesson, there are always reasons to sell. You can sell because the market is going down. You can sell because maybe the company has made 5% in profit and you want to cash out your money and leave. Let me tell you, there is always something. In 1985, there was a deficit. In 1987, there was Black Monday. In 1990, there was the Gulf War. In the year 2000, there was the dot-com crash. In 2008, the housing collapse. In 2022, of course, there was the pullback in the market. There was COVID in 2021. There's all this tariff scare in April of 2025, which was called Liberation Day. All those things, those are reasons to sell if you want to sell for a loss. But let me tell you something that you need to understand, and this is what those who succeed to build wealth on the market understand. Over the last 15 years, if you just held an S&P 500 index fund like VOO or VTI, it grew by 6 times. You would have 6x your returns. That's it. And I really want you to understand this thing, right? I want you to understand this thing. Let me actually just share my screen with you for a minute. Let me show you this in real life. Because sometimes when we talk about those things without really showing it, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Let me just show you something here, guys. And stay with me for a minute. Let me show you something. Let me share my screen. Okay, let me do something here, right? This is just one of the accounts I have in one of my portfolios. And I want to share this with you. I want you to understand exactly what I mean. That there are, of course, many reasons to sell. Over the last 40 years, there have been myriad of reasons to sell, like I listed to you, right? But let me tell you something. If you had held an average S&P 500 fund index fund over the last 15 years, your money would have grown 6x. And I want to show that to you, and I want to prove that to you with one of my, small accounts. I just want to prove that to you. Now, if you can see my screen very clearly, right? If you see, this is the 1 month return of my account. Over the last 30 days, the market dropped significantly for the many reasons I've told you in the course of this live stream, right? So the account dropped by 25,000. And I'm not saying lost because it's not a loss. A loss only happens if you sell the asset at less of a price than what you bought it. Until you sell it, this is just something we call in investing language a paper loss because it's just on paper, it's not a loss yet. Tomorrow, the prices are going to increase and this thing will be green and you will never know that it had this problem before. So I want you to understand, right? So the total return of my portfolio over the last 30 days is 23 minus 23%. So 23, my portfolio dropped by 23% of the value. Guys, you know what? Do you see me crying? Do you see me sad? Don't you see me smiling? Why do you think I'm smiling? Because I understand something. And that's what I want you to understand. Anytime you're in doubt, anytime there's panic, anytime there is all this doom and gloom on the market, the first thing you need to do, turn cable off. First thing. The second thing you need to do, if you cannot handle the heat, lose the password to your investment account. Don't check your account because a lot of people don't have the stomach to handle that volatility. A lot of people, when it's getting so red, they start looking for plastic bags to puke in it. I don't mean throwing up literally, okay? Don't get me wrong, but they feel so bad, they feel so uncomfortable in their stomach, they feel like the world is coming to an end. No, it is not. When in doubt, zoom out, guys. When in fear, zoom out. When in confusion, zoom out. That is the nature of investing. See now, let's take a step further. Now let's see what my account has done in the last 3 months. So you are telling me, Mr. Achu, that in the last 30 days, your account has been down by 23%, but when you zoom out a little bit to the last 3 months, this account has actually expanded and grown by 8.7%. Okay, let's see what it has done the last from January of this year to where we are. The market closed on Friday, that is November 21st. Let's see where we are in the last year to date. Is actually January to that point in time when you are checking the account. Let's see where we are with the year to date. Oh, so year to date, you are telling me that your account grew by 26% this year so far. So despite the fact that in the last 30 days, the account dropped by 23%, overall, when you zoom out, you look at the account from an extended period, for an extended period of time, it is still positive. That is what it really means, guys. Let's see what the account has done the last 1 year, which is the last 12 calendar months. Oh, the account grew by 34.5%. Okay, let's see what the account did the last 3 years. Over the last 3 years. Oh, okay. Over the last 3 years, the account has grown by 160%. Whoa. Okay. Let's see over the last 5 years. Over the last 5 years, the account has grown by a cumulative of 97%. So that's about what? That's about 20% a year, averagely, over the last 5 years. Guys, do you know what that means? So why should I be bothered about short-term volatility? Why should I be bothered about the fact that over the last 30 days, the market dropped by X amount of percentages or the market was red? I could give a rat's behind. I could care less because I am not trying to buy on Monday and get rich on Tuesday. I am buying now to hold for the long term. That's what I'm doing. In fact, this particular account, this is the title of this account. I want you to see the title. What is that title? Because every investment account I have, I give it a title. I don't just leave a generic name of the account number. I go ahead and rename the account into something that inspires me and motivates me. So this is just one of my millionaire goals accounts. I have an account that I call 10 generation legacy account. That one I'm building for 10 generations to come. The money I'm investing in that account, I don't plan to ever touch it. I don't plan to ever sell. That account will be the account that will fund the lifestyle for me, for my children's children's children, 10 generations deep. That is how the rich think. That is how the wealthy think. That is how those who are trying to build something significant think. And it is possible for everybody, including you listening to me, because it has nothing to do with your income. It has something to do with your understanding and the openness of your mind and the willingness to realize that you can postpone present enjoyment for a short period of time to build capacity for a long period of time, guys. So I want you to make sense to understand this, right? I haven't had this account for up to 10 years, so it will not give me the 10-year return. But I've had it for more than between 5 to 10 years. So anytime in doubt, zoom out, guys. Don't get carried away. If I only look at the last 1 month return to minus 23%, I will be crying. I'll be frustrated. I'll be panicking. I'll be trying to sell my positions, see what I can sell and what I'm not selling. That will be so shooting myself in the foot. That is why it is important, guys, to join communities that are building, people who know what they are doing. If you are new to the channel, give me a like there, guys. Put a comment down. Let me know exactly that you are joining me today. You're watching, right? Leave a question in the questions in the comment section. Let me know some of the topics you'd like me to talk about. I have a link down in the description if you would like to join my private newsletter group and my private WhatsApp community. Click on that link and join our community. These are the things we talk about. I help people understand how to make sense of the market, how to invest, and how to build long-term wealth. And these are not only people who are high earners, but a lot of my clients too, and people like a lot of my mentees, sorry, are people that are earning everyday salaries, 50, 60, 70,000. I have a lot of clients too who are earning 500, $1 million, high net worth people. But I will not forget those who are not high net worth, because most people who are going to build wealth anyways are not going to be high net worth before they build wealth. They're going to build wealth to become high net worth. I want that to sink in. Most people are not going to be high net worth people before they build wealth. They are going to build wealth from where they are slowly and become high net worth people. Take that home with you and make something out of it, right? So I just wanted to encourage you today, guys. I just wanted to encourage somebody. I just wanted you to understand, make some sense to you about what the market is looking like, especially going into tomorrow, which is Monday. So that way you don't panic, you don't get yourself in trouble, and you don't do anything stupid. I don't want you to do something that doesn't make sense, right? So, as a smart investor, this is what I will continue to do. And if this makes sense to you, go ahead and use it. If it makes sense to you, apply the techniques I'm going to talk to you right now. Remember, you have to do your own research. You have to take your own decisions. You have to take the risk, because if you are getting the absolute risk, if you're getting the absolute what, I forget how that guy say it, then if you're the one taking the absolute risk, you should take the risk or something. But what I'm just saying is that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not certified to do this, but I'm just sharing my experiences. This is all based on you. So you listen to it. If it makes sense to you, you do your own research and you make decisions on it. These are things I am doing to build wealth for me and my 10 generations to come, right? So this is what I will continue to do. And this is what makes sense to me. And these are the smart investor moves that I've learned over the last 10 years that has helped me go from bankruptcy, foreclosure, financial ruin to where I am today, getting close to $1 million in liquid assets. Number one, I will continue to stay consistent. The number one name of the game is consistency. I hope you didn't hear me talk about an amount here. I talk about consistency. Don't do it today and don't do it tomorrow. Don't do it next week and stop for 4 months. Because the engine behind all the growth that happens on the stock market is something called compound interest. And the worst thing that affects compound interest is breaking the momentum. Breaking the momentum of compound interest basically means stopping the growth of compound interest by stopping contributions into that account. So you have to be consistent. If you're putting $50 a week, keep putting $50 a week. When you have more money, put more. If you're putting $100 a week, keep putting $100 a week for an extended period of time. Don't worry that for the first few years, it's not going to look very good. Don't worry. Compounding takes some time. But when it hits that critical mass, everything changes. Everything changes. So the first thing I will continue to do, I will continue to be consistent. I have accounts where I invest $1 a day. Let me show you an example. I will show you another very this particular account is an account I used to use for it's an account I created because when I came to America, I actually had I had a lot of hair and I used to go shave my hair at the barbing school. And I'll pay $80 every month to shave my hair twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month. And after I got bald, I started shaving my hair alone because I would just use shaving cream and a shaving stick and clean it out. And I decided, but Gustav, the money you used to shave your hair, what did you do with it? So I opened this account and I started investing in it, right? So I wanted to show you something here, how I've been investing in that. Let's see. Let me see. I just want to show you uh, what my daily investments are. I just want to show you an example. Let me just take one. Okay, let me say something like Bitcoin. I'm invested in Bitcoin. I have Bitcoins in some other accounts, but I'm invested in Bitcoin too in this account I just started recently. And I invest, I think, $23 a day in Bitcoin. So let me see if I can pull that up for you. Okay, good. You see this? This is actually individual. So tomorrow, this is Bitcoin daily buy. So every day I invest $23 in Bitcoin. Let me take one that is actually even less than that, right? Let me take something like let me see, XRP. XRP is another cryptocurrency I invest into. I invest $3 every day in XRP, right? Let me see. Let me take something even smaller. I think BBAI, yes, a company too. I mean, it's not my long-term hold. So all of these companies are something like BBAI is not a company I have a lot of money in just because it's not proven yet. So it's a company I believe has potential. So I'm putting some money to it, but not a lot. So let me see. I think I have, yeah. I invest $1.50 every day in BBAI. And every day means every market day, right? Oh, let me just make sure here I'm sharing my screen. I hope I am. Oh my, I've not been sharing. My apologies. Okay, let me share my screen here so I can show you. Okay, so let me take a step back. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So what I was just trying to say is simple, right? I was just trying to say that you can invest any amount of money. It's all about consistency. It's never about the amount, right? And I want to show you an example because this account, like I said, it's an account I opened to be investing the money I used to use to shave my hair, which I don't no more because I cut my own hair. So I've been investing that money in this account. So it's a company like BBAI, which is a company here. What is it? Big Bear AI. It's called Big Bear AI. A short acronym BBAI, right? I invest $1.50 a day in that company. And there's 5 days a week because the markets are open Mondays through Fridays. Sometimes it can be closed on public holidays. So that makes it what? $1.50 a week, 5 days, that's $7.50, 15. So that's just $30 a month. But it is something. And I have it automated. So it will continue to invest this amount until I stop it. So 20 years from today, I don't know what this is going to be. Maybe the company will survive, maybe not. If it doesn't, I haven't really lost much money. It's just small money compared to my different accounts. But at least I have consistent investment in this. So consistency is important. That's what I wanted to bring to your attention with this, right? I wanted to show you that it's important to be consistent because that is one of the key elements of winning this game of investing. The second thing I'll continue to do something called dollar cost averaging. And dollar cost averaging means as I continue to invest consistently small amounts into the company or into the stock I am buying, over time, because the prices go up and down, over time, my average price per share will continue to drop as I continue to invest. That's dollar cost averaging. So it makes it from in a way that at every point in time, my average cost is low. The present price of the stock is high. So the difference between the price of the stock and my average cost gives me bigger profits if the difference is bigger. Just so you understand, right? The third thing I'll do, ignore the noise. I don't have cable TV at home. Can you believe that? For somebody this knowledgeable, I believe I have some sense about this stuff. I don't have cable TV. I don't watch CNBC and all those guys because they don't know what they are saying. They don't know what is going to happen tomorrow on the market. Let me tell you that. So I don't waste my time watching them. They will be telling you their own things just to create fear for you and make you sell your stock so that way the market goes down. And when the market goes down, the prices of those valuable companies go down. And then they come in and their rich friends and buy it for cheap, accumulate it. And by the time you understand what is happening, you want to buy it back, the prices are higher and you've lost your money and you buy back higher. So you buy high, you sell low, you buy high. Who is the stupid one here, guys? Turn off the TV. Don't watch them. Don't listen to the news talking to you about doomsday is coming. Trump has done this. The economy is going to do that. It's all hot air. It will happen in the short term. But if you're a long-term investor, stay the course. Keep your eyes on the price. They have been saying these things for 100 years, but the stock market averagely grows by 10% every year. They have been saying this. The news has been saying these things for many years. There is a crash coming. The economy is not looking good. Yes, people are being fired. That's true. I cannot deny that. I empathize with people who've lost their jobs. I lost mine many years ago, so I know the pain. I went from over 300,000 a year in earnings to zero. So I know that. But what I'm saying is that in this game of investment, this is the game where all the rich people make money from. So anytime they are trying to give you those negative news, trying to frighten you, it's because they want to switch the emotion of the market so that people will get afraid and start selling. And when they start selling, the prices will drop. And when the prices will drop, then the rich guys will come in and buy the shares of good companies at significantly discounted prices, and tomorrow it's going to rise. Let me give you a simple example. In May of 2022, if you remember very well, there was a scandal around Facebook because of some data breach, some different problems. Facebook mother company is called Meta on the stock market, right? Meta owns Facebook, it owns Instagram, it owns WhatsApp, and a couple of other less popular companies. The stock price for Meta fell all the way to the point of $88 a share. Do you know how much Meta is today? Even though it has dropped in the last few months too, because they've been struggling with some big payment. They paid out something for some lawsuit or something, and it affected the public opinion, and people started worrying about Meta. They sold their shares. But Meta is around 500 and something dollars right now. You can go check the exact price. It is around 500 and something dollars. Do you know what that means? So somebody who bought it at $88 in 2022, 3 years ago, if it is $588 today, that person has made $500 per share for doing nothing than just holding it and watching. So what happened is recently, since Meta started dropping, it has dropped about $80 a share. I have been accumulating. I normally buy Meta on a consistent basis. I have it as part of my long-term hold companies to hold forever. So I do something called dollar cost averaging into it. Every day I spend about $20 buying Meta shares. But when something like this happens, when a major red day comes or a red week where people don't have trust in the business, they're thinking different things, their emotions are starting to make the market shaky. As the prices drop, I buy a little more because I'm getting it at a discount. I know that sometime next year, Meta might even be $1,000. Maybe it will be less, maybe it will be $200. I don't know. I don't have no magic crystal. But based on the way the company is, based on what history tells me, based on their market share, based on the kind of products they sell, based on the market competitive advantage they have, based on the technologies they are working on right now, I know that Meta is going to be $1,000 in a few years. So I rather buy it now at $580 and just wait a few years, move on with my life, and I can come back and start eating some free money. Guys, that's how you think about it. So ignore the noise. The market is not a straight line. It will go up, it will come down, it will go up, it will come down, it will go up, it will come down. But over 110-year history of the market, it ends up going up over a long period of time. If you take any random 10-year period of the stock market, the market has gone up. So don't listen to the noise, all right? Number 4, make sure you have your core investment foundation. I talk a lot about some stocks and different things. Yes, but your core must always be in index funds. That's how I do it, by the way. This is not a recommendation to buy or sell, but that's how I do it. About 50% of my account is in index funds and ETFs. Not many. Those are my foundation. I have my foundational VTI, which is a total market ETF. I have VOO, which is an S&P 500 index fund, which mimics the S&P 500. It has 500 of the top companies in America by market capitalization. I have VGT. VGT is a technology ETF focused around technology companies and a few other ETFs. But that's my foundation. My foundation is VTI, which is the overall market, because I believe in the US stock market. I will continue to bet on the US stock market. I have ETFs that cover international markets. That's a small percentage of my portfolio. I believe in the US stock market. I believe in US companies. I believe in the Microsofts, the Nvidias, the Metas of this world. I now continue to believe in them until proven otherwise. So I put a good amount of my investment in ETFs and index funds, so that way my risk is mitigated. And then I invest now in some individual companies that I have researched, I have consistent, and I have significant confidence and trust in, and then I invest some money towards them, right? So you want to make sure the first thing you have your core in place, your core ETFs and index funds, right? And then you can satellite now with some quality stocks, and not too many. Only about 4% of companies on the US stock market are worth investing your money in. Hear this for me. only about 4%. 80% of the profits in the market over the last 20 years have been produced by 3% of the companies. Hello? Hello? Hear me? 80% of the profits have been produced by 3% of the companies. That is why it is not gambling. You cannot get in the game if you don't understand. That is why you have to join and follow people who know what they're saying. It doesn't have to be me. It could be somebody else you like, you believe in, you think they know what they're doing. Join their communities. If they ask you to pay something for coaching, pay it. Don't be penny wise and pound stupid. Don't. Because the amount of money you will learn trying to do it by yourself without understanding is far more than the money you would have paid somebody to mentor you. Guys, understand how these things work, right? Understand. Because you must understand something. Everybody wants to get rich, but nobody wants to get rich slow. So, anyways, I'll let you go. It's Sunday evening. I know you certainly have a lot of things to do, but hey, thank you very much for hanging out with me today, right? I appreciate you. I hope you learned something from this session. As you get into the next week, continue to dollar cost average. I will continue to dollar cost average into my positions. I will continue to invest into my ETFs. I will continue to buy the companies I believe in, I have deep conviction for. And you know what? I will continue to hold them for a long time because that is the only way you win in this game. I will always say this. I don't know any billionaire traders. I know only billionaire investors. Let nobody come and tell you, hey, you know what? Why don't you get into day trading? 95% of all day traders lose money, for God's sake. Don't go lose your money, please. Come on, don't go be gambling, trying to do options, trying to do this, that, trying to do some complex things. Don't do that. Don't. It's not going to help you. I have been that route. I have walked all those things, guys. It's not going to help you. You are going to lose your money and you're going to lose your money bad. Yes. I'm sorry. I just let myself be me when I'm talking to you on live because this is life. I don't try to no, I just let my emotions ride because I want to show you genuinely how I think about those things. It's no joke, guys. I want anybody who listens to me anytime, anywhere, who listens to me, even if it's your first time, I want you to take something away. I want you to take something that hopefully stops you from making mistakes that I've made. Learn from my mistakes and build better and get there faster. Right? Learn from my mistakes. So, guys, it was a great joy hanging out. You have a wonderful day. There are some links down in the description. If you want to join my community, my free WhatsApp community, click on the link in that community. I share a lot of messages and information that is not shared on social media. You can also click down there and you join our WhatsApp, our newsletter community. In the newsletter community, I send out newsletters once a week to our newsletter community. And all of these are information that I sent to our community. I don't put it on social media. So it's not available in public places. But these are information that will help you, teach you, will help expand your mind and show you some of the strategies that will give you clarity and confidence to invest with confidence and build wealth. That's the name of the game, right? And also, if you're interested in our Thanksgiving, our Black Friday special, we have our book on sale, my last published book, The Seeker. I have that on, I think, a 20-30% sale. I also have a webinar I did before, which is called the Paycheck to Prosperity webinar, which is a webinar that teaches each and everyone who makes a paycheck out there how to position yourself with what you earn to become millionaires and build significant prosperity, right? And then I also have some other items on the Black Friday sale. So there's a link down in the description. Go ahead, click that link and get yourself some of those items. Until the next time, I'll see you in the next video. Be well, be blessed, and by all means, never stop being a blessing to somebody. And I'll see you at the top. Bye for now.